Hola, minasan! Welcome back for another round of One Piece. Last episode, a giant whale was looking for 350, only to be abandoned by the very pirates it loved over 50 years ago. And nobody knows the fate of those pirates, but what we do know is that the whale didn't get his 350 and is going to have to live the rest of his life on the other side of the rock. We got to go over the mountain, which was a trippy world build, and got all sorts of information regarding how the Grand Line works, because it's a very, very calm equator-like area in the sea, surrounded by two calm belts, clearly representing the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, and it's all very, 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 very dangerous. And the islands that they're heading to are so magnetic that regular compass can't work, so they gotta rely on on a log pose in order to navigate, which puts Nami to good use. And they're gonna be heading to the last island that only one pirate crew ever made it to, and that island is called Rastal. So, but first they gotta pick one of 7 routes and follow that route all the way up to the end. So there's the mission. There's our mission, and they're heading to the first island for their first round of adventure. So, yay! We're going to see what this whole Grand Line is truly about, full of weirdness and craziness. I don't know. I don't know what to expect, but I expect it. So, let's get reading. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 106, The Town of Welcome. Snow fell over the sea, the water freezing in temperature. Everyone so unprepared as the ship sails on and the season turns to winter. And sometimes spring. Dude, it's freezing, Luffy said as the near whiteout blinded everyone. Hachu, dude. The merry-go, having set out from the Twin Capes at the foot of Reverse Mountain, head straight for Whiskey Peak. Yeah, Luffy said as he grabbed a long wooden stick and shoved it in the nose of a smiling face. It was a snowman with a barrel for a hat and stumpy wood for arms and a cape. Done. It's the man who fell from the sky, Mr. Snowman, dude. Ain't that right, dude? Yeah. Ha ha ha! Usopp said, "Your snowman is boring." What, dude? No snowman could be as righteous as mine. Behold, my soulful masterpiece, the Snow Queen, Usopp said as he presented a very elaborate very elaborate snow statue, to which Luffy screamed out, "Wow, dude, that's great! All right, snowman punch!" And Luffy shifted his snowman and had it fire out a wooden arm, striking the head of the Snow Queen, shocking Usopp. "What are you doing?" He jumped up and kicked the snowman and hit. "Ah, Snow Dude."
"Ah, how can they frolic like that?"
Nami said as she shivered from the cold.
In the cold.
Nami! Sanji said as he shoveled the snow on the deck. "How long shall I keep shoveling the snow of love?"
"Ah, keep going till it stops, Sanji."
"Yes, milady." And he continued on. To which then she turned to the galley and screamed, and saw Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday shivering in blankets. Yes, doesn't this ship have a heater? Mr. Knight said.
Oh, I'm cold.
Miss Wednesday shivered.
Ah, shut up. You're not guest here. And get out there and help shuffle the snow.
And suddenly lightning strikes and thunder crashed.
Thunder? What's with this weather?
She looked outside, looked through the porthole.
It was warm and sunny a minute ago. It's just like Crocker said. The weather here defies logic.
You underestimate the ground line.
You've hardly been steering. Is that wise? Ah, what do you mean? I just checked our course. Ah!
Nami screamed out. What happened? What happened, Nami dude?
It's impossible. The ship turned around 180 degrees. Hurry!
She screamed out. 180 degrees? Why are we turning back? Did we forget something, dude?
No, somehow the ship got turned around. We're going back the way we came. I only took my eyes off the log post for a second, and the sea was so smooth.
She said as she watched the log post needle pointing in the opposite direction. The sea is having its way with us. We are its girlfriend.
Are you sure you're a navigator?
Miss Wednesday smiled.
On the Grand Line, you can't trust the wind, the sky, the waves, or even the clouds. Everything is treacherous. The only thing you can count on is the log post. Understand?
And Nami immediately kicked the two of them to the side.
Oh, stop acting like you know and everything has started helping.
Oh. Who's the captain of this ship? Oh man, I can't help the. Oh man, I'm starting to laugh at this fact that Nami's the one who's freaking directing everybody. Nami immediately charged down and looked down at everyone down below.
We'll take the wind from the starboard yard brace. Turn the ship 180 degrees to port. Usopp, watch the stern. Sanji, you take this whip staff.
Aye, aye. She's so bossy and rude. Leave it to me, Nami.
Ah, shut up.
And suddenly the wind's starting to change.
Hold it. The wind's changed. No way.
Yeah, it's the first wind of spring.
Ah, but why?
Solo! Usopp yelled out at the swordsman, taking another large nap. Wake up! It's an emergency! To which Solo replied, Z, Z, Z. Luffy screamed out with joy. Hey, dudes, I just saw some dolphins jumping over there. Let's take a look.
Ah, shut up. Shut up, all of you. What are you trying to do? You're trying to sink us.
The waves are getting bigger. Nami, there's bug. Iceberg at 10 o'clock.
What kind of ocean is this?
Nami's starting to lose it as Zolo continued to continue to sleep. Z, Z, Z. The storms go wild and crazy. We scraped the iceberg. Dude, we're taking on the water in the bilge.
You'll have to stop the leak.
Right.
The clouds are moving fast. Lower the sail. The wind's too strong.
The wind's too strong. Eat up, you guys. Keep up your strength. Sanji said as he fed Usopp and Luffy food. Right, dude.
Ah, you're eating too much. Oh no, the sail's gonna rip.
the man's wow. The storm going mad with craziness as the merry-go struggled every which way to handle all of the madness of the changing weather. Hey, there's another leak in the bilge.
Ah, there's another leak in the bilge.
Darn it. Nami, what does the log post show?
We're off course again.
What? Ah! And then the birds are floating. They're flying nice through the calm sea. It became calm so suddenly. It was so sudden that it woke Solo up, and he stretched his whole arms out with a loud mmm. He stood up and saw everyone on the floor. Yawn. What a peaceful nap. Huh? Hey, I know it's a beautiful day, but shouldn't you guys be working? He looked up at the top. I hope you're sailing in the right direction.
Why you?
Huh? What are you two doing here? Solo said as he saw Miss Nine and Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday laying on the on the deck, completely exhausted. And Mr. Nine screams out, "Where have you been?" Luffy explained to Zolo, "Dude, we're sailing over to their town. You're not taking them home, are you? We don't owe them anything." "No, dude, we sure don't, but we're righteous." You two look like you're up to something," Solo said, kneeling before them as they gulped and freaked out. "What did you say your names were?" I'm Mr. Nine."
And I'm Miss Wednesday.
"That's right. They've been stuck in my head. Seems like I've heard them somewhere before, or maybe not." To which he received a slap in the back of the head. "Whatever." And to which he said, "Whatever," and gets slapped in the back of the head. And towering over him was a very furious, fist-waving Nami.
How could you sleep through everything? We tried waking you, but you wouldn't wake up.
"What?" he said with a bulging vein on his forehead. And he got punched a couple more times by Nami. And she walked away.
Stay alert, people. Who knows what will happen next? I know how dangerous the ocean is.
She raised her fist up in the air.
And I know how the Grand Line got its reputation. My navigational skills are useless here.
"Sure," Usopp said from above. "You'll be okay."
Of course.
She smiled.
Something good will happen, and it's for rough luck. The first leg of our journey is over.
As the sound of the wind went, "Woo," and Luffy smiled with glee as they saw a giant island right before them. Dude, it's an island of awesome cactuses. Cactuses reaching high into the sky like a mountain range, and a town not too far. "It's Whiskey Peak, dude." Everyone smiled. "Thank goodness," Mr. Nine said. "We finally arrived." "Well, we'll be taking our leave." He and Miss Nine jumped up onto the side of the boat.
Thanks for the ride, darlings. We'll see you again, fate willing. Bye-bye, baby.
Bye-bye.
Team Rocket flying off again and swimming in the speed of light. Whoa. Huh? What the? Who's Team Rocket?
Who knows? And with Mr. Nine and Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday swimming away to escape, the merry-go approached the island and is ready for dock. "They're gone."
They're gone.
Usopp said. "Who were those guys?"
Forget them. Let's land.
She screamed up. Nami screamed. "Dude, there's a river up ahead. Looks like we have to sail inland."
I hope there aren't monsters and stuff,"
Usopp said nervously.
"That's a definite possibility. This is the Grand Line,"
Sanji said, taking a puff from his smoke. "Well, if there are, dude, we'll just run away, like JoJo."
Hold it.
Nami said.
"Don't forget, we can leave right here, right away.
How come, dude?"
We'd have to record the island's magnetic field with the log poles before we can move on to the next island,"
she said as she analyzed the log pose.
The time it takes to log on each island varies. Some islands may only take a few hours, but others could take days. You mean if this island's full of monsters, we might have to stick around for days? Aye, that's right.
Well, don't worry about it, dude. When that time, we'll worry about it when the time comes. Let's go. Luffy smiled. We have to sail up the river because it's there, dudes.
Ah, it looks that way.
Luffy's right. There's no use sitting around. Let's go.
I'll protect you, Nami. Not yet, Walt. Hey guys, I think I'm coming down with better not visit this island favor. What got him in? Oh.
Okay, dude.
No, wait. This island.
We're going in. Don't forget, be ready to run or fight. And as they entered the river to the sound of ooh, Luffy and the gang found themselves passing by the riverbed, where people noticed them coming in.
Hey, isn't that a pirate ship?
Right, it is, said the men. Dude, I hear people talking, but I can't see them through the mist.
People? Did you say people? Look the town, pirates! Pirates are here!
And suddenly the crowd gathered at the riverbed and screamed with a cheer.
Welcome to the town of celebration! Whiskey Pete! Hooray! Pirates, welcome to our town! Welcome to the Grand Line!
Huh?
They're not monsters, they're welcoming us.
Usopp watched as the crowd continued to roar.
What's going on?
Sanji said with a puff of his smoke.
Hooray for the heroes of the sea! Rah!
As everyone waved and cheered and screamed and hoot and hollering with yays and yays. Bunch of girls screaming out at the hilt.
There are a lot of cute girls here too,
Sanji said with heart for eyes.
Hey, welcome! Welcome! Oh, this is great! Pirates are heroes to these people.
Wow, dude, these people are most righteous. We're gonna fit in nicely. Okay. We got a new dude here. This is Igarapoi. Igarapoi, the mayor. Well, I think I could get away with this one. Sure, I'll give him the Zoidberg voice. Alright. A tall man stood before them with a saxophone in hand. He had curled up hair on on both sides, rolled up like a carpet. He had on capri pants and a buttoned shirt with a weird tie and a coat. It was Igarapoi, mayor of Frisky Pete. No, he said. Welcome. My name is Igarapoi. No doubt this all comes to a surprise to you. This is Whiskey Peak, a bustling town of ale brewing and music. We pride ourselves on our hospitality. We're proud of our ale and have an ocean of it. We'd love to hear the tales of your adventures. He smiled. Would you be so kind to join a celebration in your honor, Mr. Dude? You curled your hair way too much, Luffy said. And with a loud glee, Luffy put his arms over Sanji and Usopp's shoulders, and with a smile, they ran off You bet we would, too.
Yeah! 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 Ah, those idiots.
Nami said with her hands on her hip as Solo stood silent with his arms crossed. She turned her attention over to the mayor and asked, presenting the log pose.
Sai, how long will it take to log this island?
Log? Please set aside such trivial matters. Rest from your travels. Alright, everyone, prepare for the festivities. Let us pay tribute to the adventurers.
Huh?
Let's celebrate! The mayor screamed out as the entire town began the party, and the sun goes down on Whiskey Peak as Mr. Friday, continues to look down from high up in the peaks, from high up in the mountains, from high above. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 107, Moonlight and Tombstones. It's funky One Piece. I was just thinking of the Funky Monkey from Beastie Boys? The Funky One Piece. Oh, Brass Monkey. It was Brass Monkey. Brass One Piece, the funky One Piece. Okay. The half moon hovered above the island of Whiskey Peak, with the cactus veiled in the moon's light. Over the revelry of Whiskey Peak, the moon rises. Usopp pointed his finger at us, drunkard from beer, holding the stein as tight as he could, said to us,
"And so then, I said in a very cool way, hey, you sea monsters, I ain't got no 350, so get your flippers off my friends."
And all the women sighed.
Ah, Captain Usopp's so cool. I must admit, our great escape from the calm belt had me shaking with delight.
And the crowd roared, "Hooray!" Meanwhile, Solo finished his beer and slapped the stein on the table and let out a big burp. Swamp. Wow. I give up, the drunkard said as he completely collapsed and his face slammed the table. Bro, what amazing! The drink. He drank 10 men under the table. What a boss! Meanwhile, Nami threw her raised her beer stein up into the air. Ta-da! And the crowd screamed out, "Well, she drank 12 of them!" With the band playing in the background. She sure can hold her own. Dude, give me more. Luffy presented an empty plate as his whole entire belly ballooned from the food he ate. Ah, the captain over there's eating enough food for 20, the crowd roared. No more, the chef said as he collapsed on the ground in horror. The cook's down. He's beating the cook. The cook loses. And Sanji, having the time of his life surrounded by a harem of women. Ha ha! This one's flirting with 20 girls at once, the crowd says. Who are these people anyway? Come around, ladies! I am the man of the hour! Ha ha ha! Igarappoi said. This certainly has been an enjoyable evening. He had a big smile on his face. I'm so pleased you're having fun. Indeed, he said as he watched the party go on into the night. I truly am our efforts. Okay, here we go. So, another part of town. Inside the house, Mr. Nine and Miss Wednesday were writing out a note. Our efforts to procure food for our own town failed. However, to restore our honor, we succeeded in inducing this group to come to attack this island. That's what we'll report.
And that's that, baby. Ugh.
Done, he said. I hope that puts us back in the boss's good graces.
Yes. Let's hurry and put the report in the Unlucky's mailbox. They'll deliver it to the boss.
They threw the note into the box.
For us.
Baroque. A skull with 2 swords for crossbones and large set of wings. Etched on the mailbox. Zolo completely collapsed, lays down face first on the table. No, I can't take no more.
Oh, he gave up after besting 13 people.
Meanwhile, Nami stared down the nun drinking more blessed wine.
Ah, Bob, the girl's on her 15th and her opponent's the sister? Oh my gosh. Ah, Zorlo, what a wimp. Isn't it time you stopped my child and embrace the full glory of God? No, keep drinking more beer.
Dude, I've had it. I can't eat another bite, Luffy said as he became a gigantic bean bag filled with food to the brim. And Nami pointed at him with a loud laugh. And she drank more beer.
She's a happy drunk.
The crowd continued blasting the music.
He's gone through 3 cooks.
As all 3 chefs laid on the ground. Sorry, I've had it. We need more food. Nami completely spiraled out of control and collapsed into her arms on the table.
I feel great. She's down. Oh, what a great town.
Usopp collapsed on the couch.
This is paradise.
Sanji rested his his head with heart-shaped eyes on the lap of the young women as they giggled and smiled over him.
They're all passed out,
the townspeople said. Ooh.
Cold.
Sweet dreams, brave adventurers, they said as the entire crew slept. Tonight, the cactus rocks seemed to dance so beautifully in the moonlight. Ooh. You're a poet, Mr. 8. Oh, he said as Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday looked down from above. It's your turn. They both dropped down and landed on their feet in a non-hero pose, as they should be, as Mr. 8 waited for them to approach.
How are they?
They've all fallen into the abyss. Igarapoy, a.k.a. Mr. 8.
Oh my.
The nun said as she stumbled out of the door.
But they sure could put away the booze and the food, and I was only drinking carbonated barley tea. But was a celebration really necessary for 5 scrawny kids?
Yes, Miss Monday. And the nun removed the what was that called? Anyway, she removed the cloak or the veil, whatever it's called, the shawl, and revealed her twin ponytails, looking like Kenshiro from Kenshiro, looking like Kenshiro.
We should have finished them at the port. As it is, there's a food shortage.
The sister, aka Miss Monday.
And no whale meat is heading this way. Oh, don't say that.
Yes, we did our best. Calm down. Take a look at this. I did some checking up on them. Mr. 8 presented the Wanter poster of Luffy and Usopp's back of the head.
What? What?
There 13 million berries? Mr. Wednesday screamed out as the ladies' mouths opened wide and flies entered into their throats. Only a fool judges a pirate by his appearance, Miss Bunbei. Miss Monday. Those guys are...
I am so ashamed.
Well,
Oh well, I've taken care of them.
Sorry. Oh, well, I've taken care of them, said Mr. 8. We can still make a favorable report to the boss. Take everything of value from this ship and tie them up immediately. If we have to kill them, their value drops by 30%. The government wants to execute them publicly. We need the money. Sorry, but Solo said from high above the building, as everyone looked up in his direction. Would you let them sleep a little while longer? They're tired from the voyage. Mr. 8, Miss Monday. The people ran out of the door. One of them got away. But you were passed out. And there was Zolo, with the moon shining over him, raised his sword up high into the air. A true swordsman never drinks himself into a stupor. We are just built different. And a den of bounty hunters can be a dangerous place. You trick pirates into celebrating their passage on the Grand Line. He smiled as he stood up to his feet, and every single one of them brandished weapons. Looks to be about 100 bounty hunters. I'll take you on. Baroque works. And everyone freaked out. How do you know the name of our secret society? Long ago, when I was in your line of work, your organization tried to recruit me. Naturally, I turned you down. Solo smiled as he placed one hand on his hip and pointed his sword to the side. There's total secrecy within your ranks. You even use code names. And of course, the identity of the boss and his whereabouts are a mystery to everyone. Your Baroque works. A bunch of crooks who loyally obey him. Was that a secret? And to which Mr. 8 replied, This is unexpected, but if you know about our organization, you must die. One more. Tombstone to adorn the cactus rocks. Ha ha. Ooh, the cactus said. Ooh. The cactus screamed out, and it turned out to be tombstones. Wow. That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome. What were from a distance prickly spines of a cactus is in fact tombstones. Kill them! Mr. 8 pointed out to the air, and as all the bounty hunters were ready to attack, Zolo disappeared. Huh? He is gone, Mr. 9 said as he looked around. Where did he go? Mr. 8 was trying to figure out what was happening, as was everybody else, unaware of the fact that Zolo was right behind them. And they all freaked out when they looked in his direction with his arms crossed. So, he smiled. You want to fight? Why, you don't take us for fools. Fire! And as they all fought like idiots, fired at each other, and every single bullet struck him as Zolo disappeared from their sights. Ugh! You're at it! He disappeared again! He's quick! Hurry up and kill him! He's only one swordsman! And that's when Zolo's sword slid right through his hair and froze him in place. There was Zolo with his back pressing against Mr. 8's back, with so happy and joy at at the fact that he's got to fight. But wouldn't you, he said, prefer a dozen new tombstones? There he is! And they all pointed in Mr. 8's direction, ready to fire. Stop, you idiots! You'll shoot me as well! Don't do it! and he immediately blew into his saxophone. It was so loud. The vibration broke everyone's ears and shattered them. Blood spilled out from their heads. And the cactuses screamed out, "Woo!" Solo, having had successfully escaped, leaned against the wall and let out a sigh of relief. Phew, was that a gunshot? You could hurt someone with that. It appears, Mr. Nine said, as Miss Wednesday and Miss Monday prepared for fight. We'll have to be careful with them. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Chapter 108. 100 Bounty Hunters. As the half moon continued passing through the night sky above the Cactus Island, 100 bounty hunters were all trying to figure out what they need to do and where they can find Zolo to stop him from thwarting their plans. Where did the swordsman go? Disappear to? Mr. Nine said. Does he really think? Oh.
Does he really think,
Miss Monday said,
he can take us on alone?
He knows about Baroque works, and yet he showed his hand. Solo listened on, while inside the building, the entire crew remained passed out. Solo smiled as he grabbed one of his swords. This is the perfect chance to test my new swords. I'll give them a good workout. How is that, my children? Yes. Yes. He stroked the hilt of his swords. Suddenly, above the building, a pair of guns aimed right at Zolo. It was a bounty hunter with a hat, and he screamed out, "Aha! There you are!" And Zolo looked up as the gun lit up and fired away. Each bullet shot chased right after him as Zolo flipped backwards. He's in the house, the gunman said, and there was Zolo, pinned in as all the bounty hunters aimed through the windows and through the doors. Huh? It's a trap. They smiled at him and started firing as he dove into underneath the table. He flipped it up, and every bullet was blocked. Some of them piercing through the wood. First, it's Yubashiri, meaning running snow. He unsheathed the sword and sliced through the whole thing. Huh? One of the crew said, as Solo slid right through all of them and sliced past them. Of course, they froze in place, wondering what just happened. Good sword, nice and light, and blood splurted out of their bodies and guts, and they collapsed, screaming, "Gah! There he is! They found me. It's time to play tag. He's heading up the roof." The bounty hunter said, chasing after him. As Solo reached the top of the stairs, there was one bounty hunter with a bazooka. "Welcome!" he screamed out, and he fired out a cannonball. And Solo was able to spread his legs open and pull his body back while holding on to the railing with one hand. "Wah!" he screamed out. That was close. As he watched the cannon explode, taking out a few more pirates along the way, bounty hunters along the way. "Ha ha! You're finished, huh?" "Grah!" Miss Monday screamed out as she held a barrel like Donkey Kong and flicked it. "Miss Monday!" they screamed out as the barrel came hurtling right at them. "Never mind that! Kill him!" The bounty hunter screamed out as the barrel came hurling towards Zolo in one direction. They were in the other. Zolo immediately turned around with his sword and sliced it 3 ways into the barrel. as the beer splashed, as beer stayed contained within each of the slice. They all four struck the bounty hunters and splashed beer in their faces. Darn, what a waste! That was a fine case of beer there. All that good brew. Oh wait, that's actually Budweiser. Oh, okay, then we're fine with that. It's okay.
Grr, why you?
Oh! One screamed out as he struggled to swing his gigantic stone hammer. Oh my gosh, stone hammer had Solo and caught his attention. Solo sliced through as the hammer came right at him, and the stone was split in half. And Solo finished his attack and hit him with his other sword, and blood splurted out of his chest. What? I sliced through that stone mallet. Kitetsu the Third has a great edge, but a legendary sword should only cut when its master wants it to. This one's a problem, child. You will learn. You will respect me, my sword.
Rah!
Someone from behind Zolo screamed with a knife in hand, and it was a tiny child. Allegedly. Huh? And he just lightly tapped the knife to the side, and the kid raised his hand up and freaked out.
Oh, mercy! Have mercy on us! Have mercy!
The sister said. As the kid immediately ran into her embrace. Huh?
Bless you.
Oh, she's German? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I'm caught off guard. I don't have a German voice.
Gesundheit.
Use that sorry trick on someone with a kinder heart, Solo said as he just took one step past them, and they froze in place. And blood splurted all over out of their bodies, and they collapsed. Never mind. I used the back of the sword. Forgive me, he said, as they laid knocked out. Dang it, why couldn't it be blood? Fool, trap him! Solo began climbing up the ladder as the hunters continued chasing him down. Foolishly not firing a single bullet while he's climbing up wide open with his back turned to them. The pirates, rather than firing their weapons at Solo with his back turned, chose to climb up the ladder, screaming out, "Ha ha ha! You've got nowhere to run!" And once more, he turned around and grabbed the ladder at the top as one of the pirate hunters looked at him in the eyes. Once again, no one firing at him as he stood there in place, struggling to lift up the whole thing with 100 humans on it. But he smiled and put all his might into his muscles. Ha! The ladder's falling! You fools! Fire at him! He's just standing still! Ha! Zolo stood on the top of the ladder with two swords in hands, and he jumped into the air as the bounty hunters all fall to the floor below. He, like Batman, he flew with the bright moon behind him. Whoa! He's jumping this way! They screamed as smoke, as plumes of dust lifted up into the air from the fallen ladder. Shoot him! We should have done that when he was standing still and had his back turned to us. Hawk. He smiled as he stared down at the bounty hunters on the roof, waiting for him to arrive. And they screamed out, "Ah!" And he sliced his sword, screaming, "Wave!" And they flew into the air with blood flying up. Grah! He looked at his sword. and he swung it around a bit, and then he slided along the ground, checking the checking its strength. He spun around in a circle as all the bounty hunters dove right at him with knives and swords and claws. There were all the women. He stepped to the side, and they fall right through the newly made hole. Look out for the hole I made, he said as he hardcore badass walked away from them, and the girls screamed, "Ah!" Ooh, the wind said as Miss Monday, with the giant ladder in hand, was ready to swing. He twitched, looking down, and he ducked right onto the floor.
What?
Whoop! And the ladder shattered in half. Hey, watch it! You nicked me, he said as he felt the slight pain on the back of his head. Miss Monday put on a pair of brass knuckles. She grabbed him by the neck and sat on him. And she screamed out, "Superhuman!" And her brass knuckles came right for his head and punched him directly in the eyes. "Brass knuckles!" she screamed out with bulging muscles flexed. And the entire roof cracked. What a waste. Me. Off time. Zolo immediately planted the palm of his right hand onto her face. "Miss Monday!" "What?" And Zolo stood up with one hand in his pocket, his sword sheathed, and Miss Monday down on her knee. "You think you're strong?" he said. "Ah! Want to see who's stronger?" And he released his hand, and she frothed at the mouth. She collapsed onto the ground, laid out. "No way! Miss Monday lost the battle of strength. Impossible! It can't be!" And with blood pouring down his face, Zolo took a lick of his own juice. "Shall we keep going, Baroque Works? I like to finish what I start. I prefer to do my exercises in the morning, but a midnight stroll is a good idea." "It's clear to me now," Mr. Eights said. "The Navy got the wanted poster wrong. I could see how this guy could be worth 30 million berries. He must be the real captain." "Oh, very well. Then let's fight him like one. Shall we?" It seemed weird that a good-natured kid like him would be worth 30 million. But and Luffy continued sleeping with the sound of "Wrong, dude. Any more of that meat left?" he said as he slept peacefully throughout the fight. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 109. A question of duty. A question of poop. Low-hanging fruit, man. Low-hanging fruit. Well, I grabbed it. And I eat it. Oh. That is good fruit. Solo stood towering above all at the rooftop with both swords brandished, have yet to sheath his third sword. Miss Wednesday, Mr. 9, Mr. 8 looked up in shock as he smiled down as Solo smiled down on them to the sound of "Ooh." "How disgraceful! Losing to a lone pirate swordsman after the boss left the town in our care? This means we failed him, and we cannot tolerate failure." And that number 8 immediately took his saxophone. Solo was wondering what he was doing. And number 8 immediately leaned back. And let out the horn. "Eager up pie! Whoa! As the roof exploded underneath Zolo, he jumped out of the way just in time. Ready, Miss Wednesday?
Ready, Mr. Nine.
She said as she bit her pinky. And Mr. Wednesday, Mr. Nine hopped up on the rooftops, giving chase to Zolo. Come, Karu! And she let out a whistle with her. That's interesting. Can that be done? No, I guess not. Quack! a giant duck approached her from behind, as she expected him to come from the air.
Don't just wag your tail. Move it.
Karu, the ultra spot bill. She mounted the giant duck and ready to ride off like Joust.
All right, let's show powers that put a panthers to shame.
Quack.
Hey, who told you to sit?
Quack. Karu immediately perched himself on the middle of the floor. What is that? Solo said as he looked down at the spot bill, at the ultra spot bill. I wouldn't turn your back if I were you, Mr. Nine said with a smile as he stood above Zolo from above. Can you keep up with my acrobatics? He said as he began spinning around. Well, not if you continue to announce that you're here. Now I'm ready to stop you. Hot-blooded, bat of guts. And Zolo blocked with his sword. See, I told you, if you hadn't announced it, you could have gotten me good. Ha-ha! This is a metal bat. You're not listening. You don't seem to understand how the rules of engagement works. Careful now. Don't nick your sword, huh? Ha 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 ha. Solo looked at his sword that blocked the metal bat. What's wrong? Too scared to move? And Solo zipped right in front of him with the sword lunged at Mr. Nine. And Mr. Nine Matrix dodged the blade. Whoa! He blocked every single sword poke that Solo lunged at him. Where are your acrobatics now? He smiled. You want to see them so badly? Mr. Nine flipped up into the air. Then take a good look, he said, somehow. Whoop. What the? And he flew. He flew high into the air where there was no ground in sight. Whoa. Huh. Solo smiled. And he fell to the street below. Isn't there anyone worth fighting around here? Jeez, my swords are bored. To which Mr. Nine stood on the saddle of Kato with hands on her hip.
You want something worth fighting? That would be me. Prepare to die, Mr. Bushido. Take a good look at my outfit. I'm Madonna.
What?
Enchanting vertical dance. Strike past. Doop 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 doop.
Whoa. He was mesmerized by her bodacious knockers as the hypnosis kept him in check. He dropped down to his knees. Oh, those New Jersey nenes. They're so amazing.
Hey, good boy.
She saddled up on Koto and immediately pulled a string on the ring connected to her pinky.
And now for the finale.
She revealed a weird thing at the end of the string, and she started spinning it. It was like it took the form of a peacock's feather.
Peacock slasher. All right, Cuddle.
Uh, oh man. Solo looked up, trying to get his bearings together, only for her to. Oh my gosh! Only for her to run right past him.
You're going the wrong way.
She slapped the Karo upside the head as she screamed, "Stop! I'm falling!" And they fell down to the street below. Solo became frustrated. I'm embarrassed to fight these guys. Why am I even using 2 swords to begin with? When suddenly a loud blare from the horn shot at him. Igarappa! Whoa. And wow. And Zola went whoosh. Flying down a rabbit hole won't save you. Zola was on was at street level, running out the building and into the alleyway. It caught Mr. 8's attention. Now I'll give you a taste of rural fear. Solo immediately leaned his back on the wall, trying to stay hidden. That's one nasty shotgun. What to do? I'm not a jazz man. To which then, gosh, Mr. 9 burst his way out of the debris. Ta-da! He said. That was some trick you pulled. He presented his metal bats and prepared for another attack. But I'll get you for it. Huh. It wasn't my fault you fell. You are a moron. Home run, Hyderabad. He pointed out, and a giant chain shot forth with the blunt end of the bat flying at him. Solo raised his left arm up, and the chain wrapped around it, his forearm, catching him off guard. Ha ha ha! I've got his arm. Mr. 9 says. Mr. 8 screamed out, "Thurs! A steel rope. Interesting." No, do it, Mr. 8. Ha ha! We've got you now.
He's right.
She said. Miss Wednesday said, holding the sword in hand.
Try anything stupid, and I'll kill your precious friend.
She said as she aimed the tip of the sword at Luffy's belly, with Karo holding him down. Ha ha ha! Very good, Miss Wednesday. You can't run away and fight back. Snorted, Luffy said. Fool. At least be awake when you're taken hostage. Prepare to fire! Wow! Gun barrels stuck out of the curls of his hair as he pulled on the tie of his the strings of his tie. They were ready to fire. Preparations complete. What? Zolo freaked out at what he just witnessed. Is this another Don Creek moment again? And with his thumbs tied together, Mr. 8 was ready to fire. Igarappa! He screamed as he stretched his arms wide, pulling the strings, and bullets fired out of the cannons. What is he? Some kind of toy? Zolo says he pulled on the iron rope, yanking Mr. 9 right at him. Grr!
Oh!
Miss Wednesday was shocked as she watched Mr. 9 fly into the air with the bullets coming right at them. Oh! And there was a mass explosion as each one struck Mr. 9 in the air. And with all his strength, Solo used the rope and pulled a burnt out, busted Mr. 9 like a mace and aimed it right at Miss Wednesday. Hi!
Oh no! Oh no!
And he slammed right into Miss Wednesday and Karo, and they flew way past Luffy. Quack.
Yeah.
Suddenly, Mr. 8 pulled his strings again, screaming out, Igarappa! Whoa! Luffy, lend me your belly. Luffy Solo says he jumped up, pushed his body as far into Luffy as he could, and like a trampoline, what is he? He launched himself into the air with swords ready and sliced right into Mr. Nine's chest. Oh! And then he collapsed as Solo landed perfectly on the roof. All right. Miss Wednesday, Mr. 9, and Mr. 8 were all laid out. It's over. I am most awesome. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Chapter 110, The Night Isn't Over. The moon above the sky screamed out, "Ooh!" as Mr. 9, Miss Wednesday, and Karo laid out practically dead, and Mr. 9 above on the roof sliced into pieces. Luffy immediately threw his body up and woke up. Dude, huh? Why am I outside? Where's the food? Oh boy, my tummy's starting to hurt. Oh gosh. I'm so sleepy. He immediately dropped back down on the floor. Guess I'll take a nap, dude. Snore. And the sound of footsteps arrived. Many hunters hurrying over to the scene.
I can't believe 4 of our top 12 agents just lost to that guy. Let's get out of here.
And they ran for their lives.
We better lay low till those pirates leave the island.
And as they were making their way out of town, they screamed, "Woo! It's the Unluckies!" And they stopped in their tracks. As Mr. 13 and Miss Friday sat perched on the wood that said Sapoten Graveyard, pointing in that direction to the sound of "Ooh."
Hold on, we weren't running away. Yeah, we just needed to use the restroom.
Miss Wednesday and Mr. 13 were not impressed. I can't believe that's a sea otter. Miss Friday swooped low along the ground, and Mr. 13 jumped right onto her and started flying towards everyone.
Ah! Hold it!
Oh, we got some new people here. Okay.
Town's awfully busy for the middle of the night.
This Simon is a bar, and so this 2-bit post.
Hey, who are you?
The hunters said as Mr. Friday and Miss Friday and Mr. 13 stopped and looked behind them.
You better start talking.
The hunter said as they all aimed, but Miss Friday and Mr. 13 knew who it was. Now look, son, my name is Mr. 5.
And I'm Miss Valentine.
Okay. Standard. I shouldn't really be giving Mr. 5 Handkill. That should be exclusive to Mihawk. But that's fine.
Mr. Five. Big Bear Bear. Mr. Five here. I'm Mr. Five here.
Yes. Gabba Gurp. I don't know. I don't know what a Gabba Gurp is.
I'm Mr. Five here.
Ooh, the crowd said as Zolo threw Miss Monday and Mr. 8 off the roof there, and they crashed into the debris below, laid out. That's the last of them. Phew. Finally, he sat down, drank beer, as he rested his swords beside him. A nice, quiet night. Lovely. Well, gulp. Maybe it's just me, but I have a funny feeling. Zolo noticed down the distance. Cough! No way am I going to die here. I have a special duty to. Mr. 9 struggled to get up on his feet despite the slashed wounds.
Oh, the shame now. Beaten by a lone swordsman, huh?
Huh? Oh no! Mr. 5, Miss Valentine! Mr. 5, Baroque Works Officer Agent, and Miss Valentine, Baroque Works Officer Agent.
About food, what you food around for, huh? Ha 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 ha! What do you expect from some of his rank?
She smiled. Did you come to laugh at us?
No, that's just a bonus, son. Ha 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 ha! We're on official business, of course.
Glad to hear it. With your help, we could easily take him.
Yeah, hurry up and finish the swordsman.
To which Mr. 5 scowled at Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday, struggling to get up to their feet.
You might be joking,
he said, as all three of them looked up with anger in their eyes.
Help you?
He said.
You think we came all the way to the Grand Line to do your dirty work? Oh, you think we came all the way to the Grand Line to do your dirty work?
Miss Valentine said.
Ha 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 ha!
What? Then why are you here?
Don't you get it, boss? Why would the boss send the two of us? The boss's exact words were, "My secret is out."
Of course, I don't know what.
Of course, I don't know what that secret is.
They said as they stared down at the trio with Luffy still sleeping.
Our organization's motto is mystery. We never reveal the identity of our people, especially not the bosses.
Mr. 5 said, crossing his arms.
In our investigation, we discovered the agents of certain monarchy have infiltrated Baroque Works.
Wait, hey, no, I may wear a crown, but I'm no king, I swear.
Oh, no, not you.
Quack. Oh no, my cover's blown. Mr. 8 realized, and he shivered in place. I'm finished. Solo continued watching from above, drinking his beer and eating some popcorn. Uh-oh. Luffy's still flat on his back.
A surprise! Someone who's gone missing from the kingdom of Alabasta.
Die! Igarappa! I won't let you touch her. Mr. 8 fired bullets right at Mr. 5, and he just stood there in disgust with a vein bulging on his head. It exploded. Mr. 8, on my honor as commander of the royal guard of the kingdom of Alabasta. To which then Miss Wednesday screams out,
Igaram!
Igaram? Run for it, please! Oh.
It's no use,
Miss Valentine said while flying in the air.
Yeah ha ha ha!
And bashed Miss Wednesday on the head, shattering her bangle, undoing her hair.
Oh! Oh! Yeah! Grr!
Miss Wednesday looked up at Miss Valentine as Miss Valentine floated in the air with her umbrella, and a loud whoosh flames engulfed Mr. 8. Huh? Igaram! Her snobbish voice suddenly dropped. The enemy agents are Igaram, commander of the Royal Guard and of the Kingdom of Alabasta. Oh, wait, who's talking? Yeah, the Prince of Alabasta. And a bit. Jeez, sorry, my voice. I threw my voice off there. The enemy agents are. Oh gosh. The enemy agents are Igaram, commander of the Royal Guard of the Kingdom of Alabasta, and the Prince of Alabasta, the Fatare Vivi. Let's update that. Miss Vivi. She no longer has a snobbish voice. She is now standard because she's been revealed. There we go. You feed. Miss Wednesday, you're a princess. Cut it out, Mr. Knight, she said as Zolo dropped out from nowhere, grabbed Luffy's sleeping Luffy and dragged him out of the street. Jeez, what a night. You guys have fun, he said. In the name of the boss of Barrock Works, I shall dispose of you, he said as he picked his nose. Ew. Why? Vivi pulled out her ring weapon and started making it whirl. You wish. But Mr. Nine stood in front of her with bats in hand, with his bats in hand. I don't know what's going on, but you're my partner. I'll stall them for you, Mr. Nine. So long, baby. Hot-blooded bat of guts! He screamed out as he tumbled his way towards Mr. 5. Mr. 9! Your own loyalty should be to Baroque Works and the boss, he said as he finished picking his nose and held the booger between his fingers. Oh, gosh. Anyone stupid enough to sacrifice himself for a partner to die? Here, I'll give you a taste of my Nespon. And he flicked it. And he aimed directly at Mr. 9 as Mr. 9 lunged at oh my gosh, Mr. 5, and Mr. 5 screamed out, "Come on!" And he flicked the booger, causing an explosion, sending Mr. 9 flying into the air. With his with blood gushing all over the place, he completely tumbled into the in the distance, leaving leaving Vivi frozen in place. Whoa! His boogers pack a wallop. How gross! Solo said. Huh? What do you want? He saw Mr. 8 lying on the floor. Mr. Bushido, you're strong. Please grant my humble request. Mr. 8 grabbed Solo's legs, begging for his life. Oh, get up. I don't want to hear it. Let go of me. You got cooties. Those two are formidable fighters. There's no way I can defeat them. Please protect the princess for me. Please! He screamed out as Vivi hopped on Karoo and got him to run. Run! Quack. Oh, she got away. Oh, there's no escape. No, there's no escape here. After her, Miss Valentine. Right, Mr. 5. Yeah, ha, ha. Please, Mr. 8 said, escort my princess to Alabasta, great kingdom in the Far East. You shall be rewarded handsomely. He shook Solo's leg more violently. I beg you, please save her. You want some more, Solo said, ready to brandish his sword. Ah, just how handsomely are we talking? Huh? Nami said, with her legs crossed and her finger pointing right at Mr. 8 with a wink and a smile. We'll do it for $1 billion.
baddies.
Nami. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. This was really fun. I like these sets of chapters. I like this arc that we got going here. We doing bounty hunters. I mean, we dealt with pirates, we dealt with the Navy. Now we're doing bounty hunters, and that's so cool. And the fact that it's a whole organization makes it even more cool. Oh man, I was like trying to hold my smile here. Whoa, what a great expansion of the world build. I knew there were pirate hunters. I mean, Zolo was one of them, but the fact that there's a whole organization rather than just freelancers like Zolo is great. They're called Baroque, and there's a whole bunch of them. Clever use of the names, Mr. using numbers and days, except for Miss Valentine, but I think that's understandable. But my gosh, it's, what a great fun factor. But for the world build to start, we find out that the Grand Line has crazy weather. It goes through the 4 seasons rapidly and just drives everybody. It's like it's insane. That's insane. And to make matters worse, if you don't navigate the ship, you just let it go on cruise control. The sea will turn you around. Like the waves, the waters, the currents will screw you up. You have to really stay on top of your navigation and your piloting, and that's pretty good. That's a pretty good rule to establish there, and a great way to show just how dangerous the Grand Line is. I like that. I like that they did the snow here. I particularly like the drawing. I can't remember her name. Why did I forget her name? Usopp's was it Clara? Completely forgot. I'm so dumb. I didn't write her name down for the with the voice list. Shame. For shame. I am full of shame. There's not much I could do. There's not much I could do. I can't believe it. I don't have her name written on here. I got everybody else's name. But nevertheless, it was cool to see some snow going on here at the very least, and knowing that snow can happen on the Grand Line, which is cool. Hopefully we'll get some snow adventures. That'll be nice. Get the spread the environments out. That'll be interesting to see. Oh man, that'll be interesting to see. How they do that in the live action. Just kind of occurred to me, but yeah, it's pretty crazy weather and everything. Of course, Nami really showing that she's more captain than Luffy is with all the orders she gives and whatnot. And yet, surprisingly enough, they still defer. I wouldn't say defer because technically speaking, Nami could very easily take over the pirate, the captaincy from Luffy, but she doesn't do that. She doesn't do that to him. Let's see here. Let's see. There we go. This part here. You know what I'm saying? He's saying we're going into the river, and ultimately they respected his final say. He says we have to sail up the river because it's there. She agreed that it looks that way, and they got it. They knew that was the right course to make, and they got his orders, and that's great. That's pretty cool because he's an idiot. He's an idiot, but they still respect his orders. They still respect his captaincy. And they didn't see say like this whole sequence here, watching them, discussing the situation, is great. It shows that they are a team. It shows that they still know who, that they still, respect the fact that Luffy's the captain. He still gets the final say, and they keep that. You know what I mean? Like, man. But Luffy, I guess in a sense, Luffy, doesn't have to worry because he knows they could do it, on their own. So having Nami and Zolo acting as number 1 and number 2 to Luffy, and make sure that the the things are all carried out. I mean, they're still a team of 5, but I can't wait to see what happens when they have a real crew. But it's like Star Trek. His senior staff. There we go. It's his senior staff now at this point. That's his senior staff. So they arrived into town. Whiskey Peak, which was full of cactuses, and they met with the mayor, Igarapoi, which has some very nice, which was surprising enough because they actually showed, because everybody was like, yeah, they started celebrating with everybody and getting drunk, and I gotta say, this is some fun images here. These are all fun images going on here with seeing everyone in action, how they're partying out. Nicely done artwork, like all the details and everything with the characters and the backgrounds and such. Despite, even with all the speech bubbles on there, is actually pretty good. Pretty well done. And doesn't lose any of the space. You know what I'm saying? It's not wasting space or anything. And everyone got drunk to a stupor. Luffy fell asleep, but it turned out that Igarapoi and the sister turned out to be Mr. 8 and Miss Monday in disguise, who are teaming up with Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday. And together they find out that a swordsman never drinks himself to a stupor. So now from this point we get Zolo in action, which we don't get much of. He's always getting out of commission for the past couple of arcs, and now he's got this arc in which he's going he gets to go all out. Beautiful, beautiful shot here with him sticking the sword up in the air and everything with the moon, the half moon. Very, very interesting. Usually, mangaka always goes with either storytellers in general tend to go with a full moon or a crescent moon for that shot, but to give him the half moon, that's balls, man. That's ballsy. That's hardcore. That fits him perfectly. The half moon. So, pretty much, he finds out there's 100 bounty hunters and they're all part of Baroque, and he goes to town, and the action sequence, one right after another, is just nice. We find out that those are not prickly spines of a cactus, but in fact, graveyards, which is crazy. Again, what a world build, crazy concept, going there. That it's all actually a... What is that? What's that? Suffice? Miss Sufis? Whatever it is. They're dead. They're dead, and so are all these bounty hunters, because we get to see Zolo go all out. Like, really go all out. Using his speed. And what's crazy about it is that he's only using 2 swords in this whole match. Look at this. I mean, he just goes hardcore on this guy here. On Mr. 8. Just slide the sword. Just lean his back on it and slide the sword through that. Man, I mean, you want to... If you weren't convincing Zolo, this was it right here. And this fight continues on for quite a while. And we get to see him go through all kinds of antics while, the crew continues to sleep. Like, look how calm he is. He's just so calm. He's like, I'm not impressed. He's not impressed whatsoever. Which is pretty cool. But every single panel follows him smoothly. There's no hiccups. There's no jumps or anything. Like, everything, like, this is actually a perfect example. You got the guy above, he looks up, the guy's looking down, he throws himself into the room, he's tumbling. It's seamless. That's all seamless. And then you see he takes a pose. They fire. They stick their guns up. He jumps. He pulls this whole entire sequence was seamless. Beautifully done, man. Beautifully done. It's excellent. It's excellent. And of course, Zolo doing doing typical shonen stuff. Flies past everybody like. typical trope, the slight pause. But yeah, we get rooftop battles. We get the dumbest thing I could ever see on Earth is him climbing up the ladder and not a single one of them firing a shot. Like, the guy is completely... Zolo is completely struggling to get up the ladder here. His back is turned to you, and you got guns. All of you got guns. There's like 20 of you with guns. There's no way a single one of you would miss if you all fired at once. You know, say one of you is gonna hit him. It's so ridiculous that that they had him dead to rights and they don't fire at him. I mean, seriously, just hit him. So what if you hit one of your guys? The whole point was to take him out. Oh my gosh. And then he did this cool little thing with the women diving at him with swords and claws, where he just made them fall right through the hole. Oh man. And then he gets his fight with Miss Monday, who he just basically freaking breaks her skull, man, and left her frothing. You want to talk about lunacy, man. This guy loves his work. Zolo really loves his work, man. But what's also interesting about this is that when he you know, once he reveals who he knows that their Baroque works, he acknowledged that he was a former hunter. So he actually really took in his role as a pirate officially, and that's a very interesting thing there that he did. That was actually established, and I'm glad, you know, because that way we don't have all this wishy-washy stuff. Interesting weapon though that Mr. 8 has, Igarapa. He screams out and fires some kind of gun bullet. Again, you know, more clever stuff. The fact that it's a saxophone, I like that was a saxophone rather than a trumpet. It could have been so easy to be a trumpet because it's straightforward, but the fact that it's a saxophone which has a curved arc underneath, that S-shaped arc, is pretty cool. That is actually pretty cool, doing it like that for a weapon. It could have been so easy to do a trumpet because or a bugle, but instead it's a saxophone, which is something you don't expect to fire weapons out. I like that. That's pretty fun. But oh gosh, Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday are so dumb. They got a weird this weird duckbill thing, the ultra spot bill, who's completely uncommon. He's freaking Psyduck. She's Misty to Karu's Psyduck, which is hilarious, and just there's some nice comedic moments in this fight with Mr. 9 and Miss Wednesday. You know, the bumblingness and everything. Like, he completely falls off the roof. And she's doing the dance here, which is so hilarious. The vertical dance. Going all Madonna on him. And Mr. Wednesday falling off the cliff while doing an acrobat. It's like... But yeah, and her Karu is such an idiot. She's supposed to hit him with her left hand, and the duck goes to the left, leaving him on the right side, on the wrong side of the attack. Oh man, but yeah, all these panels have been very much seamless, and Creek 2.0 over here, nice and seamless. Everything moves fast. It's really really well done, and not only that, but the drawings don't skip a beat. Just look at the drawings; they don't skip a beat. They don't lose track. You know where everybody is. You know who's talking, who's saying things. It's fantastic. This is a fantastic, well executed sequence of action here, and and not only that, but the environments. You know, and I keep going back to the Cloudor arc because it just stayed in one spot and was boring. This was fun. This was fun seeing every inch of environment used, seeing Zolo doing inventive stuff. Even the villains did inventive stuff from where they were positioned at, and and um, and it kept me in. It kept me in. I was very engrossed. I felt very engrossed in the fight. It's like, dang, what else is gonna happen? And that's when two new villains showed up. Let's see. Yeah, Luffy wakes up, falls asleep, as always. The moron. As always, he's always going to sleep, and he's like, But it turns out we got two. Other than the unluckies, Mr. Friday, Mr. 13, and Miss Friday, ready to finish the hunters off because they failed at their jobs. Turns out the boss sent out two more people, Miss Valentine and Mr. Five. With with of course Zolo successfully finishing off his fight and taking a chill. Seriously, Zolo, man, he's too awesome. Him and Mihawk, two awesome characters, man. I like those two. I like those. Look at, he's just so chill. He's like, yeah, all of the good days work. He's like, finally, I have some quiet and peace. He's like, I've got quiet and peace. It's crazy. But yeah, we get introduced to these two who are the officer agents, Mr. Five and Miss Valentine. Very chill, very cool. And they're here to finish the job. Because they're not supposed to be revealed. Nobody's supposed to know who they are or anything. And the hunters are like in the ground and everything. Oh my gosh. What those two did to the hunters is insane. It's not lost on me. All these hunters are completely flattened and everything. But it turns out that there was actually a secret among our first four Baroque agents, and it turns out that two were undercover and hiding. One was a guardsman, and the other is a princess. Okay, farewell, fine. The princess pirate kind of thing. I don't know. We'll soon find out. But they're from Alabasta, the kingdom, and they were in hiding. And so, Nefeltari, Phoebe is her real identity. Miss Wednesday's real identity, and Igaram is Mr. Eight's identity, and he's the commander of the Royal Guard. So apparently, the bounty hunters here. What this really means is, in the grand scheme of things, is that the bounty hunters are the big problem instead of the pirates. So it looks like on this side of the Grand Line, the bounty hunters are the major issue, whereas on the east side of the Grand Line, over at East Blue, it's the pirates that are the issue. So that's actually very interesting. If this is what's shaping up to be, that you got on one side of the world all bounty, this whole big bounty hunter organization doing bounty hunter things all along the Grand Line and everything, and then on the other side, you got the pirates, and what I mean, which would explain the god, the lords, like Mihawk, the top dogs like Mihawk. The top pirates. I don't know, but the world is getting much more larger now, and it's getting more and more interesting trying to find out exactly what's going on this side here. If it's nothing but bounty hunters, that's amazing. You know what I'm saying? You got bounty hunters on one side of the world, pirates on the other side, which means there's something important about that one piece or whatever it is that's still there. That's going to be an interesting thing to find out in the end. But seriously, Mr. Five with the booger, gross. Inventive, but gross. Inventive, but gross. But yeah, it ends with Nami waking up, everybody waking up apparently, and now, and now the princess and the commander are gonna get help from Nami for 1 billion berries. So that's it. That was a great set of chapters. The action flowed nicely. I was engaged. I was having fun. It was really fun watching Zolo in action, and the fact that he was using 1 or 2 swords instead of all 3 is fantastic, because it shows, that he knows his enemies and what he can and how he engages his enemies if they're not that big of a threat or anything. So yeah, Solo's time to shine. I love it. I love that that there's bounty hunters that are way more nefarious and sinister. I mean, in a sense, and the fact that Baroque, did offer Zolo spot on the team, and he declined. It's also very fantastic. It really expands his backstory, and I like that. It shows that that he does, that he still has his inner dealings with the bounty hunters, and that's pretty cool. So there we go. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, follow. You know you want to. And head on over to Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com and grab yourself a copy of the Impossible, a strange fantasy novel written by me. You'll find a link down below, along with links to other merch, such as pins and stickers, t-shirts, and music. If you understood everything I said, just type I understand down below in the comment section. And if you're interested, you can volunteer over on my Patreon. You're more than welcome to. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to contribute and help out around here. And also, be sure to join me if you want to see everything in the live on my live multi-stream on Twitch and Kick, Monday through Thursdays, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There we go. That's it, everybody. Until the next set of chapters in One Piece, I thank you all for joining me, and I wish you all a good night, buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.